So when you're called to a site that's, they're struggling with their unplanned machinery downtime, what do you diagnose first?
Ooh, right. Well, I think first of all, action without diagnosis, I think, is problematic. So that's the first thing I would do is I would try and do a couple of Paretos, or if not a Pareto, something like a RASH map, where I would map out the problems try and understand the process and map out the problems onto the process. So, which assets are the main contributors to downtime, and or to maintenance man hours, or whatever the constraints are. Constraints are important. What are the constraints? At Anglesey Aluminium, the constraint was it getting enough man hours away from PMs to do the work. That was the constraint. So I think identifying, with my maintenance management hat on, it's identifying what the constraints are in terms of resources, and identifying what the bad actors are on the plant that are contributing to downtime, or to your scrappage, or whatever the issues are, because those issues vary widely from industry to industry, and even from site to site within the same industry. If you're asking my process, understanding the context is the first part of the process.
You're mapping out those critical assets to start with, yeah.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the critical assets and the bad actors, because they're not necessarily the same. And then the other thing is I would try and run a Pareto on what the failure or fault categories are that relate to maintenance processes. So, are things failing as a result of poor installation? Are they failing as a result of overload? Are they failing as a result of poor lubrication? What are the main issues, and what does that tell us about how we can look at the functions that the maintenance team is doing, and maybe improve those? So